Hey guys, it's Comicbookjunkie here again. Not to be confused with Don the Comic Book Junkie. This is a response to ETA Nick's tag for picking 5 comics that you regret selling. And also, this is also something here for my buddy the Comic Crypt Castle Hills, who's a big Godzilla fan. I have something to show for him at the end here. So it took me a while to come up with 5 books that I regret selling. Selling is not something that I've ever been very good at when it comes to comic books. I did manage to come up with 5, but it definitely took a while and a lot of thinking. I sure wish that I had at least one of those X-Men number 1s that ETA Nick sold in the past. That's pretty awesome. But like I said, I call myself the comic book junkie because, I like a lot of comics and I have a hard time getting rid of anything. Space is always an issue for me, so, I tend to try to sell some stuff to clear up space. So my number 5 was probably Cable 1 through 100. And a lot of these books that I've listed are kind of a series, not necessarily a key book, because I don't think I've really sold. I've only sold like one key book that I ever regretted selling. I don't generally sell key books, but I sold Cable 1 through 100 to make space, and I kind of regret selling that. Not that it's gone up in value or anything, I just kind of liked having it. Number 4, I gave my local library the entire collection of the initial Booster Golds, which, Booster Gold number 1 now is going for like $100. But not really due to the dollar figure. I just really enjoyed the stories in the original Booster Gold. It's something that I had when I was a kid, and it's one of the few books that I put together on my own back in the day where we didn't get to go to comic stores. You can hear my dog walking around in the background. But it was one of the few books I had managed to get all of, and then I used to read them over and over again and just really enjoyed Booster Gold. And then, of course, the fact that the library puts a little stamp on there. Kind of, I like from a value standpoint, treat the value of it, but it's still good to give the stuff to the library. I've given lots of books there so people can experience comics. My number 3 would be the Watchmen, the hardcover collection, and I read that, and I had it for a while, just kind of sat on my shelf, and I ended up selling it, and I just kind of like to read it again, and it was a really nice covered book. I mean, it wasn't the individual issues, but it was a nice, really done hardcover book. Number 2 would probably be Spawn 1 through 150. I read Spawn over and over again in college. I used to watch them when they came out the HBO movie TV show. Thought it was so cool, and like the first appearance of the Violator, Overkill, Angela. I mean, they're not worth a lot of money, but the art was just amazing in those books. I pretty much got rid of them again to clear space in my collection for other books. But the number 1, the only one that I really super miss is I had a CGC copy 8.0 of Silver Surfer number 4, and I really regret selling that book. We needed some money at the time, and I knew I could turn that book pretty quickly. And Silver Surfer is not a book that I have a lot of. In fact, that might be the only Silver Surfer book that I had in my collection. But I really liked it for Thor being on the cover. And, I got a pretty good price for it. Used it to pay some bills, so it was not also used to invest into more comics, so I can't say, oh, well, I lost this, but I had this. That probably makes it sting a little bit more. But that was my number 1 that I would like to maybe get back again someday, is that Silver Surfer number 4. The other part of this video, I wanted to show the Comic Crypt Castle Hills, my Godzilla that I had from when I was a kid. So I'll slide over here. Now I had this thing means a lot to me. This is the old Godzilla toy, and I've had this thing. It's been at my parents for a long time, as my dad used to keep it on display, because it was something that when I was a kid, my dad and I would watch the old Godzilla movies. And on Saturdays, we'd always build up blocks and stuff, and Godzilla would knock it over and stuff. And this thing used to be in perfectly mint condition. However, as I said, it was at my parents' on display, and my dad would let my young kids play with it at the time. and the stick that pulls the fire down snapped off. But otherwise, it's still in excellent condition. And now it's back over at our house. But the kids liked playing with it as well. So it's been played with a lot. But I've always been a pretty big fan of Godzilla. The old corny shows are just pretty neat. But so I figured I'd show that off for the Comic Crypt Castle Hills. So that's all my video. I enjoy seeing the rest of these, see what else other people have sold. Talk to you later.